Hi. I believe I've been watching some of the whole who had the worst life and who deserves the whole like praise and all that stuff and had pretty bad with slavery and all that and Jewish people and all that, right? Well, I'm Asian. I'm Asian clearly, so I don't have too much of a bias, but I'm kind of sort of against the whole because of slavery. Um, Black people could um, kind of bully white people because they had worse history and stuff. I'm kind of against that because whenever they have the excuse of um, uh, the early Jews were black thing, um, which I might be true, but if it is actually true, they would be talking about Egyptians, Egyptian Jewish Egyptians, and if you look at it that way, in Egypt there was a lot of Egyptians that owned slaves, and during that time, people counted the whole thing was like Egyptian, like, or above a lot of people they had slaves and stuff. Well, Egyptians were kind of a mixture of skin color. They weren't all black, you know. There were like very pale Egyptians. Some would be considered kind of Asian, because it was between Africa and Asia, sort of. So some from like somewhere else would be going to Egypt and all this stuff. And also the kind of not really nickname, but like also other name for some Egyptians were called Afro-Asians, which is kind of a rude term, but like the reason why, because it was kind of Asian area sometimes. And black people count Egyptians as black because they say that dreadlocks and like um braids for like the African American kind of hair, um they count that as black hair because Egyptians. So yeah, that's the thing. And I to me it's pretty much of a balance. Slavery was bad, and people treating Jewish people really terribly too was pretty bad. But if you count horrible treatment of other things were pretty bad, and black people tend to point at white colonists to take over the Americas. Um, but history shows that African Americans weren't the first ones there, because there were like early, like very late cavemen, like early humans, but really close to regular human things. The later cavemen lived there, and since that was the case, you would see that African Americans that were there didn't what weren't always there. They most likely would be from uh, probably Africa or Asia, depending on where they're from the globe that like spread apart. You know, if you see the whole thing where people think that Earth was spread apart during that time, they came from there. You know. Well, yeah, they they had that, and if you're saying that black people killed and raped and stuff, no, the white people, the colonists, killed and raped and stuff, you don't know African American history, where a lot of them, a lot of the African Americans were cannibals and would kill people and take over their land, and would burn people's farms and stuff to say that they won and all that stuff, and how Indians would kill other animals to get their clothes. They were very, very like bad. And if you're pointing at like who had things worse and everything, to me, pretty much everyone had a pretty bad life. And the reason why I'm saying that is, why did Europeans move to America, the boat and everything to America and all that? Because they wanted to be more free and everything. And also, why, well, never mind. What I'm saying is things that happened in the past thousands and or millions or something years past, um, you should just brush it away. You know, the person that you're talking to had nothing to do with whatever it is. And to me, they're acting like children, or to me, hate is pretty bad. I mean, if you're really, if I was really into the hate and all that, I would have really wanted money, or any sort of reparations from Japanese people, from the enslavement and sex trafficking and everything, because Japan kind of ruined Koreans pretty bad for a good while. If you know history, you would know that, but seems like the West seemed to ignore history from outside the United States. They tend to only see the American history and all that stuff. And the whole bringing them from Africa, like Americans bringing black people from Africa to re-enslave and stuff, right? The people that are really mad about that would be just saying that, and not actually going back to Africa and living life there. Like, if they're mad about that, shouldn't they just restart from where they would be coming from? And also, a lot of self-hate from white people to themselves. And also, whenever people say say a lot of the hate, their skin would be like, some of them would be like, their skin is like very, very pale. So most likely they would be like part white. So that's another thing, right? And also, to me, you're just wanting to get mad at something, right? Blaming stuff for things. And saying like, oh, I'm poor because I'm black, or like, oh, you need to help the culture out because of that. Well, a lot of successful people that are black and or whatever, they're successful because they're actually trying. They're doing a good job and working hard and stuff. All I'm saying is, sorry about this whole ramble. I think that overall, I just want people to treat people equally and don't get mad at people just because of the color of their skin. And people are mad at other people because they're more powerful. And to me, if celebrities and stuff just were quiet about all the opinions, social opinions, political opinions, and everything, if they just like shut their mouth about all that, none of us would have known any of the stuff that we're hating about certain people about things. Just move on. And if you want a life, love, hope, and all that stuff, and world peace and stuff, sorry, you want world peace, you need to start with not hating and forgiving thousands of years ago, millions of years ago, whatever, and all that. And if you think about it, the white people would want something from the Vietnamese people, but just forget all about that and let's just hope for equality. Even though we technically do have equality, it's just equal to not hating other people just because, All right. Sorry about that. Bye.